Hello, everyone. We're gonna take a little bit of time just to let everyone join before we start our virtual visit. Thank you for joining us today. Hi, if you're just joining us, we are going to get started in a minute or so. Thank you for joining us today. All right, awesome. Let's go ahead and get started. Good afternoon or good evening, depending on what part of the world you're in right now. My name is Rohil, and I'm going to be your host today for this virtual campus visit. And yeah, welcome to UC Berkeley, but virtually. So, as we get started, I'd like to bring up our first poll. What type of visitor are you? Just so we can get a good idea of our audience, and where you're from. So the poll should be popped up on your screen, and go ahead and answer that so we know what brings you here today. Awesome. So it looks like everyone is a high school student or family member. Great. So I assume a lot of you might be, checking out what colleges you want to go to, maybe considering UC Berkeley as one of your options. Maybe you're already set on applying to UC Berkeley. So, well, we hope this gives you a very good informative look at what Berkeley entails and what resources and what your experience could be like while you're here at Berkeley. Cool. So this is a 45-minute presentation. You'll be able to ask any questions in a Q&A. Please don't use the raise hand feature, but there will be like a Q&A thing, and you can just type your questions there because we won't be calling on any raised hands. There will be interactive polls like the one that you just saw. And there are also virtual visit recordings if you want to maybe review what we talked about, because the content in many of our virtual visits is the same, but the guides who do them are different, and they'll provide different, personal stories as well. Um, so these virtual tours are meant to basically encapsulate like, a real live campus tour that would be walking around our campus, except it's in a virtual form. So it is led from a student perspective, and everyone on this call is a student at UC Berkeley. There are no admissions or financial aid info. The admissions department or the Office of Undergraduate Admissions runs their own presentation, and you can sign up for that. They have a virtual one once a week as well. We'll also have Q&A at the very end, so that way, if you have any more specific questions, we can answer them live for everyone.
Right, wonderful. Thank you, Rohil, for that introduction. Hi, everyone. My name is Rena. I will be one of your tour guides today. I use the she, her pronouns, and I am originally from Folsom, California, which is about an hour and a half, 2 hours north of Berkeley. I'm a rising senior studying legal studies and public policy. Outside of being a campus ambassador and giving tours, I'm also part of our student government. I do research at the Civil Justice Research Initiative at Berkeley Law. I'm part of Gen Up at Berkeley, Oases at Berkeley, various clubs, and I also have another part-time job at the Othering and Belonging Institute.
All right. Good evening or afternoon, everyone. Thanks, Rohil, for that introduction. My name is Ethan. I'll be your co-guide alongside Rena today. I use the he, him, his series of pronouns. I'm originally from Spring Valley, California, which is about 15 minutes outside of downtown San Diego. I'm also a rising senior. I am a triple major in the College of Letters and Science at UC Berkeley, studying political science, ethnic studies in our brand new educational sciences major, which officially launched this summer. So super excited to talk a little bit more about that with y'all throughout the time we have together today. I also have a minor in dance performance studies, and I've been dancing since I was 8 years old. My involvement on campus stems from many different clubs as well. I also work another job on campus, working for our Department of Residential Life. I am involved with SHEP, which is our sexual health education program here at Cal, and also ASAP, which is our aspiring educators and student affairs professionals. So it's a club focus for folks who want to go into education, like myself. And yeah, that's just a little bit about me. I'm excited to dive into this with y'all.
All right, so this will be our agenda for today. We'll go over some big key topics like history and culture, academics, housing and dining, health and safety, student resources, student life, athletics, and then libraries and research. Again, as Rohil said, this is a 45-minute tour, so we're going to try to get through as much as possible. But if there's ever like things that we don't go over that you have questions about, please feel free to use the Q&A function. We have people in the back who will answer questions for you. And then again, we'll have that 15 minutes of Q&A at the very end.
All right, folks. So let's go a little bit into overview about what our campus is really like, and just to talk to you a little bit more about the history of UC Berkeley. So originally, we were founded in 1868 as one of the first University of California campuses within the entire state. So we were the first campus within the entire system of the University of California. And we are known as Berkeley and Cal, or University of California, Berkeley is the full name. Most folks will say UC Berkeley, Berkeley, or Cal synonymously. Oski is our mascot. He is the lovely, lovely bear that you will see at the very first photo on the top left. And he is our mascot, and we are known as the California Golden Bears when it comes to athletics, and it stems from our state symbol being the brown bear. And so Oski stems from that as well. Our student body is mainly comprised of undergraduate students with around 33,078 undergraduate students as of fall 2023, and around 12,621 graduate students as well. And there are some really iconic campus landmarks that you should know about as you kind of navigate campus, first being Sather Tower. If you see the rising video, you'll see Sather Tower is our clock and bell tower for the campus. And that stems 307 feet all the way to the top. And it is the third largest clock and bell tower in the entire world and the largest in the United States, which is super cool. South Hall, which is the brick building you see on the bottom left, is the oldest building on campus, built in 1873, and was the first building for the Berkeley campus. And this building actually used to house our agriculture department, but now houses another one of our graduate schools known as the I School, or the School of Information. And lastly, one of our most iconic campus landmarks is the Sather Gate, which you see on the bottom right. And that is the main gate of campus. It's kind of a very symbolic moment for student on a first day to just walk through the gate and you know that you're on campus. So that's like our main couple of landmarks.
Wonderful. And just to flag, some of y'all might have seen that number of students that we have and maybe freaked out because it is a big number of students. But throughout this tour, Ethan and I will be talking about ways that you can make Berkeley feel a lot smaller. So just to sort of assuage your fears or anxieties about coming to a big school, you really are able to find community here in really wonderful ways. And I think that bridges really well into just kind of a broad overview of the culture, what students are like at Berkeley. And I think the big thing that I would like to emphasize, just from my background of being a legal studies major and being someone who's interested in advocacy, is the free speech and activism part of our history. Some of you guys may be familiar with this history, maybe not. But the free speech was a movement to get students the right to political free speech on college campuses, really bubbling up around the time of the Civil Rights Movement, the Vietnam War, as students wanted to be able to engage with the world around them. And I think it's one of my favorite things about Berkeley, just how passionate, engaged students are. I never feel like we just exist in a vacuum. Berkeley students are always really excited to engage with the community, and I think that's really meaningful and has been a really exciting part of my experience here so far. Of course, entrepreneurship, Berkeley's position within the Silicon Valley, and so lots of really wonderful ideas being cultivated here. Also for students, there's lots of business clubs, hubs where you can work with other students, like-minded students, and create an idea or bring an idea to fruition, which is really cool. In terms of school spirit and pride, I would point to that bottom right picture of our rally committee. This is sort of like our spirit squad. That was what it's called in my school, spirit committee at UC Berkeley. So they put on a lot of really cool events before, like basketball games, football games. I'll also say, if anyone here, regardless of whether you like football or not, or you could not care less about the sport, I think everyone should go to the big game every year. That's the annual football game between Berkeley and Stanford, our friendly little rival. And it's so much fun. So even if you could not care less about the sport, like I kind of am in the same boat, to be honest, it's super fun. And I think it's one of the best experiences you'll have at Berkeley. So that's just a little bit of overview there.
Awesome, folks. So before we kind of dive into a little bit of our undergraduate colleges, we want to know a quick question for y'all. So what are you interested in? This can be engineering, chemistry, biosciences, environmental sciences, or social sciences here at Berkeley, or maybe our arts and humanities.
Also totally fine if you don't know. A lot of people don't know when they come into college. So don't feel like you're like behind or something because you don't know what you want to study yet.
That's such a great point too, because when I came to Berkeley, I didn't know until very later. So it's always fun to do so as well. Awesome, folks. So we share the results. You can see a lot of y'all are interested in engineering, the arts and humanities, and a wide variety of spread joining us today. So super, super excited to have y'all here. We have 6 undergraduate colleges, though, for the university, including our brand new college that is going to be launching this upcoming school year. So first would be our College of Letters and Science, the Rouser College of Natural Resources, focusing on environmental sciences, and Letters and Sciences, our largest college. It focuses on a wide variety of disciplines and academic majors. Environmental design focuses on architecture and other departments associated with it, chemistry, engineering, and our newest college, which is the College of Computing, Data Science and Society, or CDSS for short. And also our Haas School of Business, which is one of our 9 graduate schools on campus, also offers undergraduate programs as well, directly from the graduate school. So a lot of our graduate schools also offer a major or a minor directly offered by the graduate school. And so Haas being one of them as well.
Wonderful. So the first college, as Ethan mentioned, is the College of Letters and Science. That is the college that I am in, and that several of Ethan's majors are part of. So we are very familiar with this one. As Ethan said, it is the biggest college on Berkeley's campus. About 3 out of 4 undergraduates are in this college. So this really spans like so many things. Again, like legal studies in there, but you also have applied mathematics, physics, art practice, theater, dance, and performance studies, all housed within the College of Letters and Sciences. So quite a lot fits within that umbrella. Something that I have really appreciated about my experience in this college so far is that we have a 7-part breadth requirement. And so these are 7 classes, sort of just like gen eds, and they'll have different themes. So there's like a biological science, a physical science, a philosophy and values class, like a bunch of different sort of buckets of study, and it really forces you out of your comfort zone. So some of my favorite classes that I've taken at Berkeley, I've only taken because I was forced to, as part of the breadth requirement. I took a molecular cell biology class as part of it, and it was wonderful. So I really, really recommend not brushing off the 7-part breadth requirement as like, oh, it's just something I have to do. Really take advantage. College is a really fun time to be able to explore everything that there's possibly out there, and I think this is a great way to do that.
Thanks, Rena, for talking about the College of Letters and Science. It's a really great opportunity. I can also echo that as well, that it offers a wide variety of different opportunities to explore your academic interests. And even if you're not in the College of Letters and Science, you still have that opportunity as well. What I also personally really love about Berkeley is that it's so open. You can take courses in a wide variety of different departments, ranging from within our College of Letters and Science to other graduate or other undergraduate colleges as well, such as our Rouser College of Natural Resources. This is one of our founding colleges for the university, and it includes 9 majors ranging from molecular and environmental biology, society and environment, environmental economics and policy, and conservation and resource studies. So this college mainly focuses on the the study of the environment, environmental sciences, and it's a super cool way to get involved within like studying the environment and do a bunch of other research as well with it.
One of my friends in the Rausser College of Natural Resources studied abroad in Tahiti. So just to flag the very cool opportunities that they have going on over there. It's like honestly amazing. The next college on our list is the College of Environmental Design. This is our smallest college with about 650 students. So you will get maybe like you'll see a lot of familiar faces, much smaller class feel. And there's 4 majors in here: architecture, landscape architecture, urban studies, and sustainable environmental design. And they really emphasize sort of like the interdisciplinary nature of all of these things. So it's not just architecture, but it's architecture plus thinking about social justice and its impact on climate or things like that. So really, really interesting classes, programs, highly recommend.
Another one of our undergraduate colleges, as well as our College of Chemistry. This is one of our smaller colleges with only roughly around 1,000 students in it. There are 3 main majors in the College of College of Chemistry, which include our general chemistry major, chemical engineering, and chemical biology. My roommate freshman year was actually a chemical engineering major, and he wants to go into pharmaceuticals. So there is a wide variety of things you can apply with all these majors as well. And like really cool fun fact about Berkeley is that 16 elements on the periodic table. If you've ever taken chemistry and you've ever had to memorize the periodic table, 16 of those elements were founded here at Berkeley, including fun ones like berkelium and californium. Those are some of the most fun facts about our university too, just knowing that like we have actual elements in after us too.
Wonderful. Next up is engineering. So I saw that quite a few people were interested in engineering. This is another one of our founding colleges. Again, the 11 majors include electrical engineering and computer science, often abbreviated to EECS. So if you ever hear EECS, that is what that's referring to. Mechanical engineering, bioengineering, civil engineering, aerospace engineering, which is a fairly new program that Berkeley has introduced. It's a really small cohort so far since they're still getting up and running, but really cool that we've added that in the recent years. And then industrial engineering and operations research. More, again, I do want to flag chemical engineering is not part of the College of Engineering, as Ethan mentioned. So if you are interested in chemical engineering, you will not find that here. Go check out the College of Chemistry. I think a question that a lot of people have sometimes is like, how easy is it to transfer into the College of Engineering? Because again, like you may not know exactly what you want to study when you get to Berkeley, and that's totally fine. And I will say it's doable. My roommate started off as a molecular cell and biology major, and then she switched over to bioengineering. She had to sort of do like another application and maintain a minimum GPA, but know that that is possible. We do recommend, though, if you are set on engineering, you have an idea of what you want to study for, we encourage you to apply directly to engineering and one of those majors. We would also encourage that you apply to a major as opposed to leaving yourself undeclared, just because there may not always be many undeclared engineering spots available. So just some things to note as you're thinking about your application and what you want to study and how you want to go about that.
And lastly, just to talk a little bit about our newest college, which is our College of Computing, Data Science and Society, or CDSS for short. This is the first college that our university has founded in over 50 years, which is absolutely exciting. So it houses 3 main majors, which includes computer science, which is a Bachelor of Arts at our university, as opposed to many of our engineering majors, which are Bachelors of Sciences. Computer science is actually a Bachelor of Arts. Data science, which is also a Bachelor of Arts, and statistics as well. Those are the 3 main majors within CDSS, and it really allows for the opportunity to explore data science, computing from the lens of how can we use it to improve society as a whole and create social equity. And roughly about 1,500 to 1,500 students graduated with these degree in spring 23, which is super exciting as well. And this college will be fully functional and operational starting this coming fall. And we also have a new gateway building that is currently under construction on our campus. And that will be hopefully soon within by the year 2026, roughly. It will be fully open for students and will be the main hub for CDSS as well.
Just to note that Rohil just graduated from CDSS this past semester, so congratulations to him. Moving on to our, as we mentioned earlier, the Haas School of Business does offer undergraduate programs, although it is primarily a graduate school. And so the big options here is the Speaker Undergraduate Business Program. This is now a 4-year program. So in the past, you might have heard of this being something that you apply to in your sophomore year of college. This is now, thanks to new funding that we have, a 4-year program. So that's really exciting. We're excited to be able to expand those offerings. We also have a global management program, which is really cool because you spend your first semester abroad in London, and then you come and finish the rest of the studies here. And so if you're interested in international business, or you just want to study abroad at any point during your time here at Berkeley, I think this is a phenomenal program to check out. And then for those of you who are interested in engineering, but also maybe business, we have a program called MET, which stands for Management, Entrepreneurship, and Technology. And this will be a dual degree program in business and any of the College of Engineering majors. So again, really cool opportunities. It's a pretty small cohort of people. I had a friend in MET, and I think there was like 40 people maybe total in his cohort that year. But the upside of that, again, you get a really nice immediate sense of community. They get really hands-on mentorship. They have retreats. It's a very, very cool program. And for continuing students and transfers, we have the 2-year business program, a business and biology program that's very similar to MET, but for biology. And then again, MET, if you're currently in engineering. So if you're not in engineering, like if you're like me or Ethan in your College of Letters and Sciences, this would not be available. But if you're already in the College of Engineering, this is an option that you might be interested in checking out.
Awesome, Rena. Thanks for covering the hospital business as well, because it's also a great segue into talking a little bit more about our 9 graduate schools that we have on campus. In addition to the hospital business, we have 8 other graduate schools that students can also have the opportunity to take graduate courses in while they're studying as an undergrad, but also just learn more about the graduate offerings here that we have of our university, such as our School of Education. Trying to find the shirt rep. There we go. So I'm actually repping the School of Education today, which used to be the Graduate School of Education, but has now been renamed the Berkeley School of Education, as we have a new undergraduate major in educational sciences. We have our I School, which is AKA the School of Information, Berkeley Law, which is one of the top law schools in the country, our School of Social Welfare, which houses an MSW program and an undergraduate major in social welfare. Social welfare is an equivalent major to social work. We have our School of Optometry here at the university. A quick distinction is that UC Berkeley does not have a medical school on its campus. Our medical campus within the UC system are on other campuses, such as UC San Diego, or at the University of California, San Francisco, which is our sister campus in San Francisco, which offers a medical school. But we do have an optometry school here on campus and a lot of advising and resources for students who are interested on pursuing the pre-med or pre-medical track. We have our J School, aka our School of Journalism, which offers a Master's of Journalism. Our School of Public Health here for the university, which offers not only an undergraduate major in public health, but also an MPH program, our Master's of Public Health as well. And we have our School of Public Policy, our Goldman School of Public Policy, which offers a Master's of Public Policy, Public Administration as well, and Development Practice too, and as well as an undergraduate minor in Public Policy that Rena is pursuing as well. Another thing to note is that the aforementioned colleges that we mentioned also offer graduate degrees, whether that be a master's level or a PhD doctoral level as well. So we have a wide variety of graduate programs and undergraduate programs to meet a wide variety of student needs for the academics.
Want to give a strong plug to the Berkeley Law Building because it has the prettiest library in there. And while they are very finicky about undergraduates going in, you can do it and you'll have the most wonderful study experience possible, if that even is a thing. But the library is really, really pretty, so I would recommend. We are going to launch our next poll here, so we can get that up and running in just a second. But where are you joining us from? Selfishly, I hope there's some Northern California representation here. Oh, love to see it.
I'm hoping for some Southern California folks, hopefully.
Looks like we got some couple of Northern Californians.
We got some folks on the East Coast coming in. We got some international folks.
International, welcome. Well, glad you're all making time in your days. I don't know what time it is wherever you are, but thanks for joining us because I'm sure it's a bit later in the day. Cool. Well, wonderful. Thank you for answering that. It's always good to see where everyone's coming in from and what you're interested in. Segueing now into housing and dining. The first thing I want to say is that QR code on the screen will take you to our virtual Berkeley housing tour. We no longer do in-person housing tours, partly because of COVID, but also just because there are people living there. And so one really great way to get a sense of the dorms, if you're interested, is to scan that QR code and it'll give you a good sense of what the rooms look like in case you're interested. A couple of unique things about Berkeley's housing that I just want to really flag for y'all. Number one is that it's not required that you live on campus your freshman year. So if you live close by in the Bay and you want to commute, perfectly fine. If you've just found somewhere else that you prefer, also perfectly fine. That being said, 96% of freshmen live in the university residence halls. I did my freshman year. Ethan, I'm like 99% sure you did your freshman year. I loved my experience. I think it was such a great way to just help me get acclimated to the campus. It's a big school, there's a lot going on. And so having that first week of orientation and having people on my floor that I would constantly see was a really, really wonderful way to get introduced. And some of my closest friends now, just people that I happen to live on the same floor with. So would highly recommend that experience. There's a handful of different options. We have doubles, triples, suites, and this will refer to like how many people you're living with. So usually either expect 1 to 2 roommates at the minimum. Singles are pretty rare, but if you do have a specific accommodation, you can make that known to Berkeley and they will work with you. We do have guaranteed housing for freshmen as long as you do the housing application correctly. And this may be way too far in advance to explain what that is, but basically you just really want to make sure that you're filling out the housing application. It'll ask you to rank your top 5 choices. Make sure that last option is any room size, any location, because we work on a lottery system. So if you get picked early, that's phenomenal. You'll probably get your first couple of choices. If you get picked later, they want to make sure you have somewhere to live. So do just fill that out correctly and you will get housing. For any transfer students that may be tuning in or prospective transfer students, I really also want to flag the Anchor House that has just opened. This is a transfer only housing, which is really cool. It is, I believe, towards the west side of Berkeley, right across from campus. It's an absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous building. Really cool. They have like a satellite house also for their transfer student office, which is kind of like the advising program for transfer students. So really, really cool that we've been able to build that. And again, would highly recommend for any transfer students that might be tuning in to check that housing option out.
And also want to plug that our Anchor House as well that has a wide variety of different resources too for transfer students tuning in today. But yeah, moving on to a little bit about health and safety here on our campus and explaining our different resources that we have here to make sure that you are well physically and mentally as you're exploring your time here at UC Berkeley. Physical and mental health is one of the top priorities for the university, and we want to ensure that like you have you have all the resources that you need for health and wellness. And we want to ask you a quick question as well. Sorry about the random pause, folks. We do not have a question lined up. That is our bad. But however, just moving into a little bit about like our campus health and safety and wellness. First, we offer student health insurance for all undergraduate and graduate students. This is known as SHIP, our student health insurance plan. It is a separate fee that you will pay aside from tuition. It's roughly around 13,000, not 13,000, excuse me, 1,300, 1,300 a semester, roughly, and that allows you to get full coverage within our University Health Center or the TANG Center, which is known as University Health Services or the TANG Center interchangeably. And not only do we have like primary care and urgent care services covered under the student health insurance plan, but we also have pharmacy, referrals to outside counseling. We also have counseling psychological services available for free for all students, regardless of insurance status as well. Path to Care is also a really great resource for wellness. They are not a part of University Health Services. However, they are our resource on campus for prevention education relating to sexual and dating violence. We have our optometry eye center, also known as the Berkeley Eye Optometry Clinic, which is right by the optometry school. And we have a wide variety of resources for mental health wellness and stress relief, such as our Pause for Mental Health Club, which they bring dogs on campus and you get to pet them, and it's so fun. My favorite, his name is Topher. He's like this big white fluffy dog, and he's like very famous on campus. So when you come to Berkeley and explore, you will see Topher and you can give him a pet. He's super cool. And we also have Llama Palooza, our ASUC, which is our student government here, which Rena is involved in. Our Office of Academic Affairs runs a semesterly Llama Palooza where our Academic Affairs Vice President brings llamas onto the glade for students to pet. We do this every week, or we do this every semester. The week before finals, which is known as Triple R week or Reading Review and Recitation week, which is the week before finals where there are no formal classes and students will study. So students can go onto the glade and pet some llamas to relieve some stress from final season of looming as well. But yeah. Another quick thing I would love to flag for y'all regarding our health center, though, is that you do not need to have student health insurance or the student health insurance plan provided by the university to use the health center. You're still more than welcome to use it with your own private insurance. However, it will incur a higher copay if you're not under the student health insurance plan. So like for me, for example, my own personal experience, like I've had both before. I've used my own private insurance, but I've also used like the student health insurance one, and both have their pros and cons to it as well.
Would highly recommend going to Llama-Palooza once. They're very adorable. You get to feed them. It's an absolute blast. One of my favorite things at Berkeley. Moving into some more campus safety services, segueing from health. So a couple things that I just want to flag. The first is the blue light poles. Unfortunately, it's kind of hard to explain them because there's no picture and they're on campus. But if you have visited other college campuses before, or you're planning on visiting them, you will definitely see them at some point. They're sort of just emergency poles that are scattered all around campus. The goal is that no matter where you are, you should be able to do a 360-degree turn and find one in your area to access. So if there's ever an emergency, something has happened. One time my friend like broke her leg and had to use one, or her friend used one because she wasn't going to get to the pole, obviously. But you go up there and you press a button, and it'll connect you with UCPD, or University of California Police Department, located on campus in Sproul Hall, and they will come be dispatched out to you. We also have a service called Warn Me. This is a text and email alert system that all students and faculty staff are automatically enrolled into once they get to Berkeley, so no need to opt in. And this is just a way for everyone to stay updated on things that are happening on campus. So for example, a couple years ago, a pipe burst in the Haas School of Business and there's water everywhere and no one could get to their classes. So they sent out a message to the effect of avoid Haas. And then when it was all cleared up, they said, all clear, you can come back, basically. That way everyone knows what's happening. If you normally go through Haas to get home or you have class there, you know ahead of time, you know how to adjust your routes. So just a good way to keep everyone on the same page so everyone knows what's going on. We also have a program called Safe Walk. So that is going to be administered by our community service officers, and that bottom left picture in their fancy blue coats. These are people that are trained by UCPD, and basically it's a phone number that you can call and they will be dispatched out to you and walk you back home. So maybe you're studying really late one night at one of the libraries and you don't want to walk back by yourself. You can call that number. Usually they'll come out to you in groups of 2 or 3 and you'll get to make some new friends while they walk you home. You stay safe, all of those wonderful, wonderful things. Supposedly, they're also trained in small talk, so hopefully the conversation on the way home won't be too awkward, but if not, you'll have the benefit of at least being safe, even if it means going through an awkward conversation. Finally, we have our night safety shuttles. So that's the picture on the bottom right. And these run from 7 p.m. to 3 a.m. And they go to the major residence halls areas, off-campus residence areas, the BART stations. At 3 a.m., this turns into a door-to-door shuttle service. So you can actually call them ahead of time. You do want to just plan ahead, but you can call them and they'll drop you off like right at your apartment. So really, really wonderful safety resources that we have on campus that I would highly recommend utilizing when you're here. Like they're here for you to use. So don't feel shy about it. Don't feel shy about calling Safe Walk. That's their job. Please use them if you ever feel like you want to or need to.
And I can definitely plug SafeWalk as well as a student that's used them before, because sometimes you're studying late at night at the library and like you don't want to walk alone back to your dorm, and that's completely fine too. So like when I was a first year, I used them a lot when I was studying late at night in the libraries. And they were walking back to my dorm, and it was super cool as well because I was able to feel safe walking through the area too. But kind of moving on as well, in addition to our public safety resources that we have on campus, we also have a lot of resources for students to build community here. And community is one of the most important things here on campus because it really helps you with feeling like you're in a smaller, tight-knit group here on campus. We are a large university. However, what I love about UC Berkeley is that you can really get a tight-knit community on campus, like whether that may be a job that you work on campus, like working as a campus ambassador. I am really close friends with all my fellow coworkers, like Rena. and we even got hired together. So it's like a wide variety of different ways that you can get really close with folks, whether that may be through forming community with folks of your similar identity with our centers for educational justice and community engagement. These are centers such as our Chicanx Latina Student Development Office or African American Student Development Office, which are specifically targeted for folks of color, students of color, to find community on our campus as well. Our ASCC, which is our undergraduate student government here, which stands for the Associated Students of the University of California, offers a wide variety of different offices that students can join and commissions that students can join, and get involved with making Berkeley a better place for students as well. I've been involved in ASCC since I was a first year as well. Rena's currently involved with the ASCC too. It's super, super fun and great if you're really interested in making local change in our university. I plugged this earlier, or Rena actually plugged this earlier with our Transfer Student Center with Anchor House. We have an on-campus Transfer Student Center. If you look at the building on the top right picture, that is our Cesar Chavez Student Center, which houses our Centers for Educational Justice and Community Engagement and our Transfer Student Center as well, all located there, and our Undocumented Students Program as well. So for folks that are undocumented, we offer a wide variety of resources as well to make their experience as best as possible on our campus. We also have a lot of support for students of a wide variety of different needs, whether you need academic or emotional accommodations for a wide variety of differing ability levels. We have our Disabled Students Program, which provides a wide variety of different accommodations and needs. Our Basic Needs Center helps bridge the gap between basic needs and equities for students who may need housing support, food support. We offer a food pantry as well. There are so many more resources on this campus as well to truly make your experience a holistic experience when attending Berkeley, which is super cool.
I saw a question earlier in the Q&A about like clubs and internships. So this will be the place where hopefully we'll answer some of that. High level overview, there are over 1,000 registered student organizations, like truly so many. So when I was saying earlier that there are countless ways to make a big campus like Berkeley feel small, these registered student organizations are a phenomenal way to do that. There's literally everything for any niche. It's wonderful. And you can also start a club very easily on your own. So I've started clubs. I literally started a book club with 3 of my friends, and it's one of my favorite things ever. We just talk about what we're reading. So this is a great way to find community. One of my friends was in an ocean club too, or it was called Ocean Society. I actually don't know what they talk about. I presume something relating to the ocean, but they went on like field trips to the aquarium. It was very cool. So a lot of really fun ways to get involved in campus. And then of course, internships. Again, we're near San Francisco, we're near Silicon Valley. So this is definitely a great place to be when it comes to getting those summer opportunities or post-grad or whatever it may be. We have a lot of career fairs. We also have a career center and this platform called Handshake, where employers will put different opportunities like internships. I actually found my current internship through Berkeley. So lots of really great ways to like find jobs and find things to do outside of just being a student here. And of course, I need to plug study abroad. Rohil will tell you all about his time if he had time right now to talk about his time in Singapore, but truly it's one of the most common things that people do here at Berkeley. There are a lot of really cool programs. You don't necessarily need to speak the language, but of course people will encourage you to. But in this past semester, I've had friends in Milan, Australia, Madrid. One of my friends is going to Argentina this next semester. So again, a lot of really cool things that you get to do here, which is really fun.
And we talked a little bit about our Stanford Berkeley fun sibling rivalry a little bit, but let's talk about athletics as well. It's another great way to form community as well, and just to really see like the big aspect of like sports here on our campus too. We have different levels of competition for our university. We are a D1 school in the ACC. So if you're a big college football fan, as you may know, UC Berkeley or California Golden Bears was a part of the Pac-12. Unfortunately, the Pac-12, we left the Pac-12 alongside many other schools, and we are now part of the ACC, which is the Atlantic Coast Conference, and play schools on the Atlantic Coast. In addition, we also have club sports and intramural recreational sports. So even if you don't want to play for a Division I team, you can still find a club sport or an intramural sport on campus as well. I actually played IM volleyball my first year, and it was a lot of fun. So definitely recommend that as well. Our main sporting facilities, though, are in California Memorial Stadium, which is our big football stadium as well. The picture on the top left is where our home football team is running out of the north tunnel of our stadium. Super fun, really gets you hyped up for the games as well. Haas Pavilion offers our basketball and gymnastics stadium. We also have a recreational sports facility, which is our free gym on campus for students. And it also offers a swimming pool as well. So you get access to a free gym if you love to work out as well. And did you know, a really quick fun fact, Berkeley has brought home, or athletes from Berkeley have brought home 223 Olympic medals. So we have sent Olympians as well as, so you'll be training in the same places as Olympians, which is super cool.
Wonderful. Moving into a little bit more about campus libraries and research. So that top left picture is of Doe Library. That is our university library. If you ever do get a chance to come visit Berkeley's campus, it is open to the public and would really recommend checking it out. It's really, really gorgeous in there. You might be able to see some Berkeley students in their natural habitats studying away for whatever papers, finals they've got going on. But they also have some really cool exhibits about Berkeley's history. So I would recommend checking that out if you ever get the chance. And then that top right picture is of Moffett Library. Unfortunately, not open to the public. It's also going to be undergoing some renovations for this next year, but it's really cool because it has a mix of like quiet and loud floors. So if you're someone that likes some background noise when you study, Moffett Library is a great place to go for that. Altogether, though, there are 27 on-campus libraries, so you most definitely do have your choice of where you want to spend your time studying. My roommate and I have a spreadsheet of all the libraries and our rankings of them based off of like our personal experiences studying in them. So my personal favorite is the music library, but that's just my little plug for that. And 13 million volumes are housed in all of those on-campus libraries. So absolutely massive system total that we have going on. If anyone here is interested in getting involved in research, Berkeley's a great place for that because we are a tier one research university, which basically just means there's lots of research going on here at any given point. If you're like me, may have thought research is like a STEM thing. That's like you have your white lab coats, like that bottom left picture, and you're in a lab with vials, which is definitely part of research. But actually, the department on campus that does the most research is our history department because there's always something new to find out about the history of the world, basically. So that's just to say that literally every single department is doing research and there's always opportunities for you to get involved. So the Undergraduate Research Apprenticeship Program, or URAP, is a great way to do that. They are designed to be sort of introductory, open for anyone with any sort of expertise or experience level. All departments will open applications for them. Really phenomenal way to get involved. That's how I got my research position at the law school here. So again, really cool opportunities there. And then different departments will offer their own opportunities. So for example, the Rausser College of Natural Resources has their own sort of summer programs. And again, that study abroad program in Tahiti that I mentioned earlier at the beginning of this tour.
In addition, we as a university, we have produced some really famous alumni and professors as well that have gone through our doors and have contributed to a lot of different fields and have made it a super close way to like also get involved with your field as well. Jennifer Downa is actually an alumni of the university, and she is currently a professor here at UC Berkeley. She won the 2020 Nobel Prize in Chemistry for her use of CRISPR technology. So she is one of our really famous professors as well. And then Beverly Cleary, who is an alumni of our university. If you're anything like me and you love books, you will know Beverly Cleary. She is a children's book author who is famous for Ramona Beasley, or Ramona Quimbley, excuse me, one of her most famous characters as well. That was one of my favorite books growing up too. But some other famous alumni that we have as well, like Steve Wozniak, who was the co-founder of Apple. We've had Chris Pine, who's an actor who was in Star Trek, and Wonder Woman. So you're wondering, who's that dude in Star Trek? Chris Pine. He went to UC Berkeley. And so a bunch of folks have gone through our doors as well and really contributed to their fields.
To round off the tour before we head into our Q&A section, just some campus highlights. Berkeley, I think one of my favorite things about Berkeley is that even though we are in a more like city sort of urban area, you also get this really wonderful mix of just like nature, which I think is really nice. Like for example, on campus, that bottom left pictures of our eucalyptus grove. It honestly feels like you're just in the middle of like a park sometimes. It smells wonderful there because of the eucalyptus grove. They have picnic tables there if you want to like go there and eat your lunch in between classes. Really nice place on campus to go. We also have Strawberry Creek, which is that bottom, I guess that bottom right picture. It's the creek that runs through our entire campus. and also some really fun like hiking areas. Like we have the fire trails, the big sea hike, which will take you to this really, really beautiful view of Berkeley, overlooking the marina and the water. So you don't, you're coming to like a more city environment, but you're not leaving behind all the nature. There's plenty of hiking areas and things like that, if that's something you're interested in.
Hello. So, thank you, Rena and Ethan, for doing the wonderful job of guiding us through UC Berkeley. So now we are at our Q&A segment. So, if you have any questions that you would like to ask, please ask away. And yeah. All right, well, how about this? I'll start with a question, and either Rena or Ethan can answer it. Um, when you first came to Berkeley, what was like the first way that you found a community or made friends, and how did you do that?
I can start, and then Ethan, if you want to hop in. I think really the first way was that first week of orientation. So as an incoming freshman, we have a week of Golden Bear orientation. You move in before classes start, and you get put into these groups with a orientation leader. And I think that was really the first like real sense of community I got here. A lot of people lived on my floor, but it was also a mix of people that lived in other dorms. So it was some like new faces as well. I still keep in touch with a lot of them. My orientation leader was actually my friend's older brother, which was very like a wild coincidence. But I really enjoyed that. And like that first week, like everyone kind of just like leaves their door open and you can pop your head in, say hi. I met one of my closest friends today because he just left his door open and me and my roommate walked in and said, "Hey, what's up?" And he said, "Hi, my name's Mateo." And that's how we met. And so I think that first week was really, really wonderful. And one of my like favorite like memories just coming into Berkeley. And I remember like that really did sort of assuage my anxieties about being in a big school. So I would say that was like my first big one.
Real. Ethan, if you'd like to answer that, you can go ahead. Also, I've met Mateo. He's pretty cool.
I would say for me, I had a little bit of a different experience because I got sick during orientation and could not go, unfortunately. But for me, it was ultimately the residence hall. It was meeting folks on my floor. I was really close with my roommates freshman year. So shout them out, the folks that live with me in Clark Kerr. And I really love them. And I really got to meet with them as well and just like really explore campus with them too. And also classes were also a great way. I really found community on campus, even though like 85% of our courses here are under 50 students, so they're small classes, and you really get to know a lot of really cool people through those as well. My first class that I ever took on Berkeley's campus was a dance course, actually, for my dance minor, and it was a Theater 40 with Professor Eric Lee, and it was beginning modern dance, and I'm still really close friends with a lot of those folks in there, and the classes have a wide variety of students from a wide variety of years and majors too. Like a lot of my friends are actually like, my year, or like they're now also graduated and they're seeing their careers too and keeping up with them. So I think those were like some of the main ways I make community on campus was like through my classes and the residence hall. Also getting involved with the Residence Hall Association at my dorm too really helped me with connecting with the other folks in different buildings in my dorm, not just within my own too. So I think there's a wide variety of things to really build community on campus.
Alrighty, thank you, Ethan. That's awesome. For the next one, the next question that we're going to ask is, what advice do you have for those unsure of what major they want to commit to? So either Rena or Ethan can answer this one.
I can take this one first, Rena, if you want to jump in later. Okay, so for this, I strongly relate to this because that was me. Literally, first year, that was me. I came in actually as intended legal studies and media studies, but then ended up switching later on. And it was for me ultimately like what I really wanted to get out of the program because, like, for me, legal studies, like, I thought I was going to go into law school. I was going to go to the legal route, but I didn't think that was for me necessarily. And it took a lot of like really defining like what I really wanted to do and what I really wanted to see. And for me, that was education, because I ultimately want to either enter the classroom or enter the social work field. And so political science really offered me that really strong interest that I had in government as well, all throughout high school and then up till now even. So giving me that background. And then I actually took a few ethnic studies courses to fulfill my my 7 course breadth requirement that Rena mentioned earlier for the College of Letters and Science. But I ended up falling in love with ethnic studies as well and studying how race and ethnicity intersects with all of our identities. And so I added ethnic studies as a major, and then education actually came about because it was my minor. I'd always had a minor in education. I'd been taking courses in education. So when the education sciences major became announced, I was ecstatic, to say the least, because it is a super cool major that offers a really interdisciplinary view on what education is and what it means for society and how we can become educators in all variety of different fields as well. And since I had already completed my minor, it was really easy for me to switch into the major, as well as it only added a few more classes. So I was able to switch into the major as well. I'll be hopefully declaring this major, the education sciences major, this coming fall, and will be graduating with not only my Bachelor of Arts, but also a Bachelor's of Science. My biggest advice though is ultimately understanding that like you have a wide variety of things to explore and a wide variety of things to see, and it can be overwhelming. That's definitely very understandable, that it can be super overwhelming to want to explore everything, but take your time and know that like there is so many different avenues and pathways that you can explore, and ultimately it takes a lot of trial and error to see what you really want to do as well. I can definitely speak for like myself as well. Like I took classes that I've like loved at Berkeley, and then I took classes that weren't for me, and that's completely fine as well. Ultimately it comes down to like you'll find your groove eventually. And another thing I'll also plug too is our advising services are absolutely awesome. So I think one of the biggest things that like I really got out of like my first 2 years at Berkeley, and now as well, even as a senior, is like our amazing academic advisors who really do work to provide a holistic model of advising to all of our students. And here at Berkeley, we have 2 models of advising. We have college level advising, which is for general education requirements and major searching, but we also have major level advising, which is specifically for the major as well. And so I think it's really cool to get advising on a whole variety of different levels to see what truly is for you.
I would echo everything that Ethan said. I would also say, I think I had the opposite experience. I left political science to go to legal studies. So that's really funny. One of the things that helped, I think, was just looking at the course offerings for each department. So I was just looking at the political science course offerings and was like, wow, that just does not sound interesting to me. Like this really is not what I thought I wanted to study. And then I looked at like legal studies and I was like, wow, like this is really exciting. Like I would be excited to take any one of these classes, even 8 a.m.s, which I am enrolled in for next semester. So that's one thing that I found really helpful in my like experience of just figuring that out. I also say just like talk to people. If there's like a handful of majors that you think you could be interested in, people are always very happy to talk about themselves and their major, to be honest. And so don't be afraid to reach out to people who you know are that major, or that you've just heard of that are major, and like ask them like, oh, what is this like? Like, why did you want to do it? What are the classes like? Do you find that it's like super overwhelming or manageable? Like all of these things. And so those would be my advice on top of what Ethan said, which I think is also phenomenal advice as well.
All right. So we can go ahead and answer the next question now. Thank you, Rena, for your very great answer. So the question is, have you studied abroad? What was your experience? Where do I find out more information about the international options to study for a semester? I can go ahead and talk about this one. I actually did study abroad in Singapore, as Rena had mentioned earlier, and it was a really great experience. I did this program through the UCEAP, or the University of California Education Abroad program. And the UCEAP is really great because it shares our study abroad, like UC Berkeley study abroad programs with UCLA, UC Irvine, etc. So it's like a shared program where you can take advantage of basically, because when there's 8 different campuses sharing the study abroad programs, there's a lot more offerings, which is really awesome. But Berkeley Study Abroad also has its own set of programs that are unique to just Berkeley students. One of them, as Rena also mentioned, was the is the UC Berkeley Gump Research Station off the coast of Tahiti in the South Pacific. That's a really cool one because you can study like the marine life that lives there, and if that's something that you're interested in, like maybe you want to do something like biology or something like that, that's a really great place to like study that. So there are a lot of those options on the UC EAP website as well as the Berkeley Study Abroad website. So those are two separate programs and two separate like sets of offerings, but they're both accessible to Berkeley students. Cool. And now for the next question, we only have a couple minutes left, so we'll be fast. What what kind of people does UC Berkeley look for? Studious, innovative? So if any of you guys want to answer that, feel free.
Sure. Ethan, feel free to hop in anytime. I would say, I know we have that list that I was talking about, like what Berkeley students are like, the culture. I would say like those are not by any means like a checkbox of things that you somehow need to fulfill in order to be a Berkeley student. Like whatever you are right now, wherever you are, wherever you're coming from, that is what a Berkeley student can look like. So I just want to make that very clear. Like there's no one size fits all in terms of what a Berkeley student is. I would say one word that might be good though is just passionate. I think what's really phenomenal about a lot of students that I've talked to is that regardless of whatever they're studying, there's a real, like you can feel it, like palpable sense of they're interested in this and there's something that really excites them about that. So if that is like my roommate, bioengineering, she's really into that, and patent law, like that's her niche over there. She's super interested in it. Or if you're like Ethan and it's being in the classroom, like education, things like that. I think what sort of encompasses all of that, even though they're very different fields of study, is that just the passion behind that and sort of the drive and the real desire to like be involved in those areas and it not just being like a thing that you're doing to get it done. So no one size fits all answer. Like you can be whatever you are and be a Berkeley student. But if you want sort of like a unifying theme, I would say like passionate is a really good one for that.
I definitely echo and ditto everything Rena said because it is not like what we mentioned already or at the very beginning of the tour is not an all-encompassing list of what a Berkeley student can look like. It can be anyone. And what I really love about our university is the diversity of how so many students, or just all the students that we have here on campus that come from many different walks of life, are passionate about so many different things. The only thing I would add is that ultimately Berkeley teaches you how to be a change maker. It's Berkeley change makers is one of the biggest things that I've gotten out of my own experience at Berkeley. So like, how can I make an impact on the community around me and the community that I come from? And I think what's really, really cool about like our education here on our campus is that it is social justice driven, and it really really drives home that like you have a role in impacting society, and how can you use whatever you're studying and the knowledge that you're gaining to make a lasting impact in your community as well. That's really what I've gotten out of my academic programs as well, and I know Rena can also speak to that as well, that like they will really teach you how to be a lasting force for change in your community and beyond as well. And that passion, that drive, that motivation to seek and be the change that you've always wanted to be is definitely something that like it's a commonality in our community as well.
Great. Well, thank you very much for that answer. I think we have time for one last question. What actually, oh, we forgot to clear that one. Okay. Why did you decide on Berkeley? So we don't have a lot of time, so we'll just quickly give like a 30-second answer to this one. But yeah, if either of you want to take that one.
I
You
can
want to go
go,
first,
sure.
Rena? Yeah.
I'll say number one, very pragmatic answer was that I'm an in-state student. And so in-state tuition is a wonderful thing about UC Berkeley. But second, I would just defer to like the idea of how passionate and involved students are. So like what Ethan was saying, that we don't exist in silos here. None of the students here do. We have a very real role in not just the Bay Area, but I think the world in general. And I think Berkeley really teaches you that. And you can feel it in the students that they understand that what they're doing is not just studying legal studies. It's also setting them up for something much bigger. And I think that, again, for me was just, I knew that's the place that I wanted to be in. And so that was a really big factor in my decision to come to Berkeley.
I could definitely echo the in-state tuition part as well, being a California resident myself, but I also qualified for veteran benefits. and a lot of other universities don't take better benefits that I qualified for only in California. And so I'm a military dependent family. My father served 10 years in the US Navy, and so his benefits actually transferred to me. And I was able to attend UC Berkeley without tuition costs. And that really set apart like a lot of the other universities as well, was being able to afford higher education. But ultimately, like Rena as well, it was the understanding the culture of the university and understanding like how we make a passionate driven for change as well, and like how everybody really uplifts each other as well. I think that's what really drive me to the university too, was like understanding like how I can make a lasting change and how others are going to push me to make a lasting change as well. It completely changed my notion on higher education personally, because I didn't think I was actually going to go to college out of high school. I was actually planning to enter the US Navy myself. But when I got accepted into Berkeley, it was a huge kind of like turning point. And it was ultimately like my mom and a high school teacher that pushed me to go to UC Berkeley. And I don't regret it a single bit, because it really taught me how to be that lasting change in a force within society, and how to make an impact and make a better pathway for more students like me to be able to go into higher education myself.
Awesome. Well, that concludes our question and answers. Now if we could just pull up our contact slide at the very end. All right, awesome. Yep, contact us. So if you'd like to stay in touch with us as we part ways today, you can check us out we can check out our UVisit tour. You can also check us out on social media. We're active on Instagram and Facebook. If you want to contact us directly about something, you can email us at tour@berkeley.edu. There's also the Bear Talk blog, which is a really, really great resource if you want to read stories that ambassadors like I believe Ethan writes for Bear Talk, so this is a really great opportunity to read what we've written. And also we do have some old recorded virtual visits if you'd like to check those out. This is our first one for the summer, but we do have ones from the past as well. And if you'd like to register for an admissions presentation run for the Department of Undergraduate Admissions, you can sign up there. And the in-person campus tours, if you would like to visit us in person, and you might see some of us over there too, you can register at that QR code over there. Alrighty. Thank you guys. Thank you very much everyone for joining us today. And we are so glad that we were able to welcome you on this 60-minute visit of UC Berkeley virtually. Thank you all. And let's end this tour with a chant of Go Bears, as we would do on our actual tours. So on 3, 1, 2, 3, Go Bears!
Go Bears!
All right. Have a good evening, everyone. Take care.